Alrighty, so welcome to part 3 of this week's Mondays with Mason episode. I'm Mason Sapesky, your host, back with you for part 3 of this. Now it's time for the playoff predictions part, and I have that other stuff I had mentioned back in part 1 that I want to share with you now. So I'm back and I'm refreshed and I'm definitely ready to go for this part, and it's the best part of them all because you're going to find out my Super Bowl prediction for this season. First off, we're going to start with the AFC wildcard round. The 5th-seeded Baltimore Ravens and the 4th-seeded Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this will be a close game. It'll come down to the wire. Sorry to burp. But in the end, I feel like the Ravens will pull out the W in this one and eliminate the Jaguars. So give me Baltimore. The next one I have is the 7th-seeded Raiders and the 2nd-seeded Bengals. This will be an easy blowout win for the Bengals, so give me them. Next up, I have the 6th-seed Miami Dolphins and the 3rd-seed Kansas City Chiefs. This could definitely be an upset game for sure. I don't see it happening, though, this year. Give me the Chiefs. Now on to the AFC divisional round here. We have the 5th-seeded Baltimore Ravens and the 1st-seeded Buffalo Bills. The Ravens will come into this game with a lot of momentum, hoping to knock off the Bills. I don't think it happens, though, this round. I think the Bills get an narrow victory here. Give me Buffalo. Now we have the game you've all been looking forward to, the Chiefs and the Bengals in Cincinnati for a trip to the AFC Championship. Pat Mahomes and company will go up against Joe Burrow in this. In the end, I think Burrow has the upper hand, and he gets the Bengals back to the AFC Championship game. Give me Cincinnati over Kansas City for that trip. Now we have a rematch of the AFC divisional round from 2022-2023 in the 2023-2024 AFC Championship game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. This will be a fun one in Orchard Park. I think both offenses are going to dominate this game for sure. In the end, though, I have the Bengals getting the upset win and advancing to the Super Bowl in Vegas this season. Now down to the NFC side now to see who will face the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 58. I have, for our first wildcard game, we have the 5th-seeded Detroit Lions and the 4th-seeded Carolina Panthers. It'll be an interesting game for sure. I think though Detroit comes into this game the better team, and I think they play the better game. Give me Detroit over Carolina to win this game. Detroit's on to the divisional round. Next on now to the next matchup, we have the 7th-seeded Seattle Seahawks against the 2-seed Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings will win another one-score game. They're going to win a ton more one-score games this year, by the way. Check out part 2 to see about my Vikings prediction. But I think the Vikings will win a lot of one-score games yet again this year. This will be another one-score game I think they'll win. I think they beat Seattle to advance to the NFC divisional round. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. I think San Francisco will easily win this game and secure a return trip to the NFC divisional round in 2024. Next up, we have the NFC divisional round with the 5th-seeded Detroit Lions against the 1-seed Philadelphia Eagles. It'll be a very interesting game, that's for sure. You know Dan Campbell's going to have his squad ready to fight against the defending NFC champs. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Dan Campbell's squad will come up just short in their first NFC divisional appearance. I think the Eagles will win this game. 49ers and Vikings. This will be an incredibly close game. I think these two teams will be evenly matched. This game can go either way. Give me the Vikings, though, in this one. I think this offense will be just too much for San Francisco's defense to stop. I think the Vikings will go back to the NFC Championship, where they will have a rematch against the Eagles. A rematch of the 2018 NFC Championship game 6 years later at the Link at 6:40 under the lights. Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts gets the job done. He'll send the Eagles back to the Super Bowl, where they will have the chance to come back and get redemption from last year's narrow loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. This time it's against the Bengals. Now it's time for what you've all been waiting for, my Super Bowl prediction. The Cincinnati Bengals against the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be a really, really good, closely matched game. Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts will go back and forth in this one. In the end, though, I believe the Philadelphia Eagles will be this season's Super Bowl champions. A lot of people will probably tell me this is a terrible pick. I can see why it could be a terrible pick because Philly could obviously decline. Cincinnati, we don't know about Burrow. But I just think these two teams right now are too dominant. It's too hard to pick against them right now. Give me the Eagles winning this year's Super Bowl. Now on to award winners for this season that I have. Sorry, I just have to pull up the Google Doc or the Microsoft Word document. Technology can be very picky some days, as you've seen on other episodes for sure. But all right, I'm just going to try my best here to go for these awards and tell you who I believe will be the winners of each award. First off, I'm going to start with MVP because that's the one you've all been waiting for. Joe Burrow, I think, will be this season's MVP. I think he's primed for a big year. I'm going to take Joe Burrow. Offensive Player of the Year. I forget who I had for this one. I actually think I had Jamar Chase as the Offensive Player of the Year. That's who I believe I had. I could always double check on that. But I think Jamar Chase will be your Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, I have Micah Parsons from the Cowboys. He's about due to win this award, and this, I think, is his year where he will ball out and win the award. Rookie of the Year, it is hard to go against Bryce Young of the Panthers. I think he will be your Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, this is a sleeper pick for sure, but I'm going to take Bijan Robinson of the Falcons. I think he's going to have a big year, and I think he will be your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think Will Anderson Jr. from the Texans will win the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. So that'll be a good thing for him. Comeback Player of the Year, this one's easy. Damar Hamlin of the Bills will win the award. What he has done after he suffered his cardiac arrest is incredible. He's going to be your Comeback Player of the Year this year. And last but not least, Coach of the Year. I believe this honor will go to Frank Reich of the Carolina Panthers. I believe he's bound to improve that roster, and I think this is his year to win the Coach of the Year award. That's all I have for the playoff predictions, the award predictions, and all the predictions. I hope you enjoyed this. Now I'll talk about the other things I had mentioned to you guys before about my playoff probability charts. If I can even get them to load. I actually can't get them to load. I had my NFL probabilities, my MLB probabilities. When I make my game picks for this week, I will discuss that with you guys. For that, I'll explain how that works when I make my game picks this week. Anyway, the other topic I had mentioned back before that I was going to say about is why I decided to choose Pitt over Penn State. The reason I did make that decision was because I just like the campuses of Pitt better off. As I've mentioned, I'm starting at the Brands campus this year in my hometown of Greensburg before transferring next year to the campus in Oakland, the main campus. But yeah, for sure, I definitely like the campuses better of Pittsburgh or University of Pittsburgh than I like Penn State. I'm a city person, not so much a country person. And I like the academics of Pitt better than I like the academics of Penn State. But I give a lot of credit to Penn State. It's a great university, and I'm going to be going up there for a football game a couple weeks. I'll try to film that one. I'm not 100% sure, though, if I will be able to film that one, but I will try to film that one, and I'll also try to film a pick game for you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'll definitely try to film a pick game. Anyway, that's all with that. I will definitely go through my probabilities for the playoffs and all that, those spreadsheets I made, when I do my week 1 predictions this weekend for you guys. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. We have a loaded schedule coming up, and it all starts on Friday night with my WPIAL predictions for the week for WPIAL High School. And calls will be Pick Game Day and college football preview and a Whippeal recap. And then also last, but certainly not least, on Sunday will be my Steelers game day, my NFL recaps, all that kind of stuff's coming throughout the week. So keep an eye posted. I'm definitely going to have to keep up with it for sure. Just one last thing. It reminded me of this, talking about WPIAL playoffs. Actually, two last things real quick. First off, I'm going to predict the Lions and the Chiefs game because it's obviously going to be too late come Sunday to predict this game. I'll just predict this one real quick. I have the Chiefs defeating the Lions 34-24 in this one. So I'm taking the Chiefs to week 1 in that one. But finally, the last thing I want to say about it, it brought this up to my mind after thinking about the Whippeal and all that. Prayers up to Mason Martin. He, as you know, plays for Carson City football. He suffered an injury this week. I think it was either something with cardiac. I don't know if it was cardiac arrest or what, but it was a life-threatening injury. That's all I know. Prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets better soon. I heard the doctors said that he's doing better, but my prayers and our prayers go out to him. So, yeah, hopefully he gets better soon, and hopefully all's good with him. And God bless the Carson City football team as they deal with this unfortunate situation. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Keep an eye out for next week's Mondays with Mason posting. Keep an eye out ahead for the week. Starting comes this Friday, almost every day there will be a new video. So please do keep an eye out for that. That's all I have for you today, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. Get ready for this ride. Peace.